Hello, everyone. This is Kenny Dix for your viral. I'm being your host. We talk about Taylor Swift canceling her concert tours as there was a terrorist plot. We'll get to it in a minute. First thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag viral here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on Viral. We talk about singer-songwriter Taylor Swift had to cancel some of her shows after someone is trying to do a terrorist plot. Wow, this is unbelievable. In this day and age in 2024, you would think someone, but you can't be surprised. Terrorists are trying to find new, innovative ways to kill more mass casualties. It's not right, but that's what they do, trying to plot and plan and use circumstances on unbound beliefs. Let's get to the latest on what's going on where Taylor Swift had to cancel her shows due to a terrorist plot. Let's take a look.
It's a sad day for Swifties, like 17-year-old Anna Marie.
I just couldn't stop crying.
But Austrian officials say a tragedy was prevented when concert organizers canceled 3 Taylor Swift shows in the capital city of Vienna.
Und insofern ist da auch ein
Officials arrested 2 men believed to be behind the plot. The main suspect, a 19-year-old Austrian who had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group online. He also confessed plans to carry out the attack with knives or explosives. Investigators say they found bomb-making materials at his home.
We do commend the very swift action that they took to disrupt what could have quite obviously been a very serious incident.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said the U.S. is in touch with the Austrian government and is leaving the investigation to them.
I think we know all too well the threat of ISIS.
The Pentagon says the U.S. works with its allies to fight ISIS, but the CIA declined to say if U.S. intelligence played a role in the investigation. Concert organizer Barracuda Music said it stands by its decision. They expected some 65,000 fans inside the stadium for each concert and as many as 30,000 outside. Barracuda Music says all tickets will be refunded.
Thank you again, reporter. Taylor Swift had to cancel some of her shows in Europe because of the fear of what's going on. We know it's an upcoming movie that's supposed to be coming out starring Josh Hartnett, and it deals with that same storyline twist. M.L. Shyamalan, if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, this is wild. This is wild and unbelievable. I don't get that, but hey, a lot of people are trying to point that out. I'm pointing it out too. Let's hear what you people had to say. You people had a lot to say about this Taylor Swift canceling her tours after a terrorist plot. Let's hear what you people had to say on what the people say.
Vienna. My mom and I flew in yesterday, and so we found out about the news late last night and early this morning. But I have to say, my friends that I made through the Taylor Swift community, they were the ones who told me, and my mom. And so I'm very grateful that the friends that I've made through this fandom have always had my back and just are keeping us apprised of the latest. We flew, the flight ended up being just under 8 hours after some delays, and then took a train here. So it's definitely a long journey, but I'm really excited to be in this beautiful country and to see all that it has to offer. And the people we've met along the way so far have been nothing but kind and generous. I will speak for myself and my friends and just say we're all very devastated, and just like the concert itself being canceled is sad, but also we're really thankful that the men and women who were tracking this caught it before anything major could have happened, and just very thankful to those doing the job, and it's doesn't go unnoticed. My mom and I, we are going to stay here. We feel comfort in the fact that there are just people, whether it's here or friends abroad, that have made their homes, and they're just really making sure that we're able to feel safe, and that there's security, and just knowing that there are people out there looking out for one another is really heartwarming. And so we're going to stay and see what Austria and Vienna has to offer.
In Iraq and Syria since the al-Assad attack. And the foiled attack on Taylor Swift concerts, does DOD know, was that planned by ISIS leadership in Syria, or is it proof that low-level haters gotta hate?
All right. Well, thanks, Jeff, for the question. In terms of in terms of any attacks on U.S. forces or any additional attacks on U.S. forces since the initial attack at Al-Assad Air Base, I'm not aware of any, but I'd refer you to CENTCOM for any more details. In terms of the thwarted ISIS plot on the Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna, I think we know all too well the threat of ISIS, and we will always do what we need with our partners and allies in passing on whether it be intelligence or any support when it comes to ISIS or any threats that our partners or allies might face anywhere in the world. I don't have more for you other than that, but thanks for the question. Last question from the phone, Chris Gordon.
That has changed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So on the foiling of an apparent ISIS terror plot targeting a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna, did the State Department have visibility in advance of that plot?
So
it might happen?
So I will say that we are in touch with the Austrian government about this. They have said it's an ongoing investigation, so I will leave it to them to speak to the details of that investigation. Obviously, the safety and security of Americans overseas is our number one priority. We have been in contact with the Austrian government about this matter. As a general case, we do share information with our allies and partners about terrorism activities, just as they share information with us. That's not to speak to this specific case, but just as a general practice that we always try to work with our allies and partners about information that we may have that's of concern or that they may have that's concern to us, and we'll continue to do that.
Well and publicly reported that the plot was disrupted on the basis of U.S. intelligence that was conveyed to the Austrian authorities. So I'm just curious whether the department was also apprised of that kind of intelligence, given so many U.S. citizens might have been put at risk.
So I certainly wouldn't want to speak to or confirm any kind of intelligence information. We have been, and when I say we, the broader United States government has been in touch with the Austrian government. The State Department has been in touch with the Austrian government. And I think it's important to say one other thing about this, which is we do commend the very swift action that they took to disrupt what could have quite obviously been a very serious incident.
Ahead of the tragic attacks at Crocus Hall in Russia, the State Department did issue a security alert to U.S. citizens to avoid large gatherings for 48 hours. I guess it's contingent on the question you haven't answered, which is whether you knew that this was a possibility, why a similar advisory wouldn't have been made in this case.
So obviously I can't really speak to that without getting into the underlying details, which I very much can't do. I will say that we take very seriously our duty to warn American citizens about threats to their safety and security overseas. And when we have information that we need to get in their hands, we get it in their hands as soon as possible. There are times when intervening events take place that make it unnecessary to send that type of information publicly, but when we need to, we very much do.
Okay, and are there any specific resources at this stage being offered to Americans who are still in Vienna, who are concerned they might be at risk? Is the department coordinating any resources, offering any messaging to, again?
So we would encourage all travelers to Austria, just as it's true that we encourage all travelers anywhere in the world to enroll in our STEP program. So if we do have relevant information to them and their particular safety situation, they get it as soon as possible, and we would encourage travelers to Austria to do that. But that said, I want to be very clear: Austria remains a level 1 country. It is a country that we deem to be safe to travel to. Obviously, there are risks in traveling there, just as there are risks in traveling around America. There are risks in being anywhere. But it is a country that's safe to travel to. We work closely with Austrian law enforcement authorities, and they did an incredible job in disrupting this plot, and I think that ought to be remembered. So.
Tangentially related to Russia, next week we're coming up on the anniversary.
Swift concerts in Austria got cancelled. In fact, I think it's one of the best things that could have happened. Because now, instead of thousands of people crowding into a stadium to watch Taylor Swift perform her music, instead we're getting thousands of people gathering in the streets of Vienna, embodying the meaning of that music. These guys got engaged in front of a crowd of thousands of people singing Love Story to them. Taylor Swift wasn't even there, But because of the power of her music, that music has now entered the lives of everyone you can see in this video. That's the mark of a true artist, when their music goes out into the world and becomes a part of the life of the people who love that music. And these videos that we're seeing coming out of Austria are a perfect example of that. In the last few days, I've seen videos of people swapping friendship bracelets in random cafes in Vienna. These people decided to have their own presentation of the 22 hat. And actually, I'm enjoying these videos even more than I enjoy seeing videos from Taylor Swift's actual concerts. Because for me, this is the moment that her music really takes flight. It takes on a life of its own. It goes out into the world and it starts to change the way the people are. That's the mark of real art. And if those concerts had gone ahead, I don't think we ever would have seen the impact and the effect that Taylor Swift's music has on the people who love what she
got canceled, right? And I saw a video of girls like outside crying and like they were going through it. And some of the comments were like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys are crying. It's not that serious. Like, y'all are such a weird group. Like, just being like, what the hell? Why are you guys so upset? And it made me think, I went to 2 Renaissance Tour concerts last year. And if one of those got canceled, the way I would have been in shambles, like you thought that was bad, let Beyonce have to cancel one of them days. My heart's beating fast thinking about it. This was me during her opening. As you can see, I was going through it already. So if she would have to cancel them, I feel like I completely understand why people are so sad about that. Like, you spend money on a ticket, time, maybe you have PTO, maybe you travel to it. Like, it is that big of a deal. It is such a big deal. And it's just heartbreaking. Like, I would have been so, I would have just been so sad if Beyonce's tour got canceled, like one of her shows got canceled. So I don't think it's weird at all. I feel bad for him too, because I would have been going through it.
It was canceled because it was too dangerous, threats. Anyone that had a ticket could get a Swarovski crystal, and there was a ton of stuff around town that was like free to them because they were already expecting like 65,000 Swifties to be at the concert, which causes millions in surrounding tourism. So they're still trying to optimize that a little bit while offering free stuff to the Swifties because they feel like they just got their dreams taken away from them. Obviously, some of them have been planning this trip for over a year. What I want to know is the Swarovski crystal from Taylor Swift, or is it just from the company? They also got full refunds. So this is on top of that. But I guess Swifties that are already there are dressing up in full outfit, trying to make the most of it, like trying to shake it off, they're saying. And I guess they get free entrance to the House of Mozart. And a lot of museums around there have like welcome Swifties, a Swiftie price. It's really sad that a concert venue would be a point of concern, but I think Taylor made the right choice because it was a valid threat. And like just before the concerts, she had put on her Instagram, can't wait for the last 2 stops on the tour. See you soon, Vienna. This is a huge monetary loss for everyone involved, but at least no one got hurt. So
Wow, man, Taylor Swift, man, this is unbelievable. You would never have believed that Taylor Swift would be caught up in had to cancel her shows due to a terrorist plot. This is crazy. This is 2024, but who cannot be surprised? You know, they're going through leaps and bounds, trying to find ways to hurt people in more ways than one. And thank God Taylor Swift took upon herself to say, you know what, we can cancel the tours. We want to make it safe, comfortable, and so people don't have to worry about that and leave that out the door. But this is crazy. Terrorists are trying to plot to attack a Taylor Swift concert. Man, that would have been news already, been central around right then and there. But hopefully that is not going to happen. We thank God that's not going to happen right now. All right. Thank you for watching this edition of Vow. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. Thank you for watching Vow.